What's up, guys? How you doing? Good morning. Just gonna wrap up a couple things. Appreciate your patience. All right. So, YouTube, good morning. Instagram, we'll give you guys a minute or two to hop on. Good morning. So, Hugo, happy you're here today. Thanks for logging on in. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, you guys saw today's title, today's caption for our kettlebell program today. Some of you who've been through the programming with me on the Kettlebell Kings Live YouTube and Instagram, hopefully you've learned some new things. Hopefully you've learned new exercises, new tools, and you found new ways to explore kettlebell. You might have seen me teach kettlebell mobility. If you've been through that program, I hope you felt a lot better after. You learned a lot of gems, new things that you can do with the kettlebell that are going to make you a better athlete long term. For those of you who've been with my functional strength training programs, I'm sure you've seen you can get a really effective workout with one kettlebell, even if it's lightweight or heavyweight. Get a great conditioning set, lots of sweat, and so that's another style that I've taught here. And recently, I taught an introduction to kettlebell flow. For those of you who tuned in on the kettlebell flow work, I hope you had a blast. I know I had a good time teaching it. It's one of my favorite things to actually coach and share with others. So if you guys have had a great time so far, first off, thank you for your time. And secondly, make sure you drop a comment, drop us, myself, Kettlebell Kings, a message, maybe a direct message, and let us know how we're doing and the kind of things that you want to see moving forward as we continue to bring some variety. After all, variety is the spice of life. So before we jump in today, I want to go over a little bit of education because today's program is not about getting a hard sweat. It's not about becoming the mobility master. It's not about training super hard today, although I'm sure a good amount of you guys know I do all those things. Today's about sustainability. The shoulders are, an area that is prone to injury for most people because they're very multidimensional. The shoulders can move in every angle. It can move upwards, it can move sideways, it can move downwards, it can go at every single angle. For the most part, as it is a, important area that brings us three-dimensional movement. So when we talk about bulletproofing the shoulders, I realistically mean moving the kettlebell in almost every angle you can with your shoulders. Now, there's a bunch of little primer drills, stretches, lots of other stuff that we're going to do today before we even touch the kettlebell. So if you're already ready to go with the kettlebell, I invite you to put it down. All right? If you have a light resistance band, that'll be awesome. If you do not, that is okay. All right? So the first thing I'd really like to do today for the shoulders is go over what's called controlled articulate rotations, or CARs, with your shoulders. I'm going to do a modified version of it. They're called swimmers. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to start with 6 of these reps. No kettlebell, full body weight. Just want to double check if everyone's able to hear me. Maybe someone shoot me a message, be like, we are in. Stephanie, good morning. Thanks for saying hello. Instagram, what's up? So that you're tuning in today. So the first thing we're going to go over is shoulder swimmers. I'm going to show you a back angle so you guys can just kind of follow along here. If standing, and while standing, you find that you're flaring your rib cage during these movements, I invite you to go down onto your knees. Just going on both knees or one knee will really help you stabilize your hips, and you'll use a lot less flaring of your diaphragm. Jason, good, happy to hear me. Thank you so much for tuning in and participating. So let's get both hands behind us. And you're going to allow yourself to have this internal rotation. So my shoulders are not retracted yet. We're going to, but we're starting internally. So it's as if I can get my elbow to try to touch the screen. I'm trying to really grab there. So we're going to hold that for a second, take a breath. We're going to retract. So we're going to open up the shoulders. We're going to bring the hands off the butt, off the waistline. We're going to reach as far down and back as we can. All right? Right now, I want you to squeeze your fist and all your muscle groups. Let's say about 30%. So you should do the tricep muscle on the whole time. You want both elbows locked. You're going to hold that tension. While squeezing, begin rotating your elbows. So your thumb will go upwards. Now we're going to keep coming upwards while reaching back behind us. So we're going through a lot of upward rotation here. Now, you'll see my ribcage, I'm letting it flare right now. The goal would be to keep it nice and tight. So you're going to continue going upwards as you flex your muscle groups. As soon as we get up to this Y, we're going to bend our elbows using our bicep muscles. Elbows are now going to meet together in front of your face. Click. You're going to open up again as much as you can without flaring. You're going to reach upwards as much as you can. Rotate and come back down and behind you. So we're going to go 5 more of these. So I'll face this way, so hopefully it's a little bit better of an angle for you. Internal rotation, retraction, elbows extended, locked out, rotate, go up and back simultaneously. You should feel the middle of your shoulder blades squeezing together. You should feel your abs, you should feel your glutes. As soon as you get up to this Y, bend the elbows. Forward with the elbows, and go click. Retract as much as you can. Extend upwards. Rotate and come back down. So that's rep 2 for me. Let's hit rep 3. Extend elbows. Rotate. You're pushing down and back. And then you start to go up and back. Whew. Man, my shoulders. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really sore. 2 really awesome workouts, Monday and Tuesday. How about you guys? Any good workouts so far this week? Anything that stuck out to you? Maybe a program that I should do? Send it my way. At the Crazy Trainer, shoot me a message. I'm open to coaching. I coach, and I can be coached. Coachable. Good. So these are more methodologies that you're not going to see necessarily on my post. These are more of training protocols, things that I do with my clientele, with myself to make sure that I'm staying injury and pain-free best I can. I think we have 2 more reps. I gotta watch my ribcage flare. And this is something that I'm working on more of. This is our last rep, guys. I think functionality is awesome in everything you can. And I'm very functional personally when it comes to walking and running, and feel very good about my body working as a unit during spinal-led movements. But I find that my shoulders, someone who's been in the industry for a long time, I think we're all cool snatching here and letting that snatch be here instead of owning it and really being back here. I think it's the same thing when we press. A lot of us press here and we're cool with it. We think we're doing the right thing, when we need to go farther back and behind and upwards. For me, my pecs really limit that because I took a lot of time at the beginning of my fitness career to do a lot of chest, to grow my chest, which now, because I didn't take time to stretch and lengthen my chest, is an inhibitor for upwards rotation back there. So this is something that I'm working on this next few months. So you'll be seeing some new movements by me, new lifts by me online, but something that I want all of the people I'm working with, including you guys who follow me on here and do lives with me, to get a little bit more knowledgeable and understanding about the shoulders and how we can really take great care of them. All right. So we're going to do a couple more things. If you have PCP pipes, I invite you to do this with me. If you have mobility sticks, I invite you to do this with me. And if you at least have a wall, I invite you to do this with me. So I'm going to show you the first thing we're going to do. It's going to be with the mobility sticks here. I want you to put your elbows out in front of you. I want you to lock your elbows, hinge your hips, and allow your head to pass through your arms the best you can. Like some of us are going to be stuck up here. Try to let your head drop down. And I want you to hold this position, guys. I'm going to time it for about 90 seconds. See if you can get lower towards the ground. See if your T-spine can relax more and more. And I want to remind you guys, keep going even though I'm moving. Keep extending your elbows, keep reaching out. If you don't have these sticks, but you have a wall, so for example, here's a wall, you guys can all see me here. You can do the same thing right here. And if you're doing this and following along, you have about another minute left. I want you to breathe deeply into this. Every time you inhale, see if you can get oxygen to travel towards your midline, towards your spine. After cars and soft tissues, Jason Rothwell. I wouldn't call this a corrective exercise or warm-up. Would you rather someone do something like a Z press after cars and soft tissue? So I like that a lot too, Jason. That's an option that you could do. There's so many ways to program, and that's something that's beautiful. Doing soft tissue work is extremely smart of us, but I didn't want to write and start doing soft tissue work for 15, 20 minutes when I said we're going to work on bulletproofing shoulders a little bit. But I wanted to start at least stretching, releasing areas that you might be tight. Same thing with lat muscles. If you guys have anything to do soft tissue work, whether it's a foam roller, whether it's a lacrosse ball, you can sit on your lats, and you'll find that you'll probably be very tight there, and that'll help you lengthen a bit more. So let's sit there for just a little bit longer, about 30 more seconds. I'll hang out with you guys, whether your hands are on the wall or on PCP pipes or sticks. And Jason, if you want to dive in a little more, feel free to shoot me a direct message, and I'm happy to talk, and really dive into a conversation about all the methodologies, because that would take us way more than 30 minutes. All right, so what I want you guys to do is you can grab a light kettlebell. Doesn't have to be extremely heavy. I think today I'm going to stick with the 14 kilogram. That's already a decent push for me with what I want to get accomplished today. For you guys, feel free to go lighter, go heavier. So this is what we're going to do is we're going to stay standing. And what I want you to do is bring your elbow up while keeping the kettlebell on your body. And start to bring it back and down and back up. We're going to do 5 of these. I'll show you another angle here. We're going upwards and back. We're going back downwards, pulling it back in. 2. Cool. So let's go for 5 reps, going back on each side. We're going to do a few different exercises that maybe you don't do or haven't done. So feel free to tag along. Take your time as you do this. Elbow goes up, elbow goes to the side, elbow goes back. 2. Again, 5 reps here. 3. 4. And 5. If you guys could excuse me, I have what looks like a visitor, but not scheduled. Yeah, I'm online at 12. I'm doing 11:30. Have you done for 12?
I don't have time.
Shoot me a message. Shoot me a message. You can chill in here, but not on the W floor.
Oh, good. I didn't have anything to do. I had shit done early stuff.
Yeah. We're just, I'm live right now.
You
Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. So, shooting on through that upward rotation, that downward rotation, some external rotation, and internal rotation, covering it all. So, let's do that one more time. Each side, 5 on the right, 5 on the left. I'll do, again, another round with you. You let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop it in the comment box. I'll do my best to answer that. Or shoot me a direct message at The Crazy Trainer on Instagram, and I'm happy to get more specific with what we're doing. 3. Good. 4. And 5 to the other side. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Cool. So this next activity, what you're going to do is we're going to clean the kettlebell, and we're just going to press it outwards and press it inwards. We're going to go 5 reps out, right side, left side, repeat twice, then 5 reps in, right side, left side, repeat twice. So feel free to just follow along here. When you press your bell, I want you to rotate your upper body outwards. Come back. A lot of us press only in one plane of motion, but we are multi-dimensional beings. So it's important to be strong in every angle. Oh, I got a good back crack right there. Back to the right side for 5 more. Remember, we're going 2 sets of 5. take a small breather. We're going to do some internal pressing. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them on here while I'm here for a minute. I'm just going to browse through, see if there was any questions. Thanks, Jason, for the engagement, for commentating. Like I said, if you want to dive a little deeper, let's talk about it. Jason, please shoot me a message on Instagram if you want to dive in. I can talk to you for 3 years about this conversation. All right, so we just did our external rotation. We're pushing outwards a little bit. Now we're going to rotate a little inwards as we press. So let's get 2 sets of 5 on each side. We're almost done today, guys. Like I said, my goal today was hopefully to introduce you to a few new activities to help strengthen your shoulders in different angles. You could, if you want, pivot your feet. My goal today is to isolate a little more of my upper body, my T-spine, lengthening my T-spine, seeing how far I can rotate without my hips having to. All right, let's take a small breather. This next one is called a Swiss press. Leon, good question. Happy you asked. I don't do it every session, but personally, I'll do something like this at least 1 to 2 times a week. And it depends on my training intensity, what I've been doing. Like this week, I've been going hard Monday and Tuesday. And so I wanted to take some time to slow down today. Also with you guys, I know for those of you who've been tuning in with me, we've been sweating a lot, pushing our muscle groups. So I figured we could all do this. But I'd say 1 to twice a week, take care of your shoulder mobility. If you can do this every day, at least a little bit of something, do it every single day. If you have time, daily, minimum, if you train hard, 2 times a week, if you can get that done, get that done. So a lot of our imbalances, for those of you who know anything about the lower half of our body, usually when people have weak feet, weak ankles, it leads to weak knees, weak hips, weak lower backs, right? That's why a lot of us in the industry are training barefoot or using barefoot shoes to get stronger feet, because feet are just like hands. And if you can learn how to use your feet as well as you use your hands, I guarantee you're going to have a lot less tension and pain from the hips down, the low back down. You want to think about this in the shoulders. What's the most farthest point away from my shoulder that connects to it? Upper body wise, it's my hands, it's my fingers, it's my wrist, it's my grip. So we're going to hit the Swiss press next. It's a pretty unconventional movement. I'm going to put the YouTube video down a little bit so hopefully you can see me a little more. The goal is, if you can, to start off in a squat position. If this is too difficult, you can modify it to the halfway point. You can drop your load of the kettlebell, you'll pick. So feel free to follow along with me. I'm going to go for 5 on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the bottom of the kettlebell on the top of my hand like I'm holding it out like a server. So we're going to start off in this deep squat position. We're going to place the kettlebell on our hand. You can put this hand here as a guide. And now you're going to come up, rotate, press. And feel free to rotate back. And then you're going to come back down the same way you came up. So a lot of wrist stability, a lot of grip. And it feels really good. Like for me, it's one of my favorite movements to do. It just feels good, you know. Maybe you need a smaller kettlebell or a lighter kettlebell, that's okay. Maybe you're very shaky, and that's okay too. Especially if you don't practice it. So that was my 5th. I'm gonna go on my left side, my weaker shoulder, my weaker grip, and my weaker bicep on it. Woo! Shit gets you hot. I'm gonna go again, left side, or right side, left side. 5 reps on each side. Again, this is called a Swiss press. It's actually a bit more of an old school movement. Can't remember who came up with it, but I matched with some guy from Switzerland, right? So let's try it again on this side. Deep squat position. Big palm, big grip. Come on up. Rotate. Press up. It's okay to be scared. I get scared. Shit happens. Woo! Woo! Other side for the fin. Woo! I'm sweating. That one got me. So, one of the last things we're going to do is at least holding a kettlebell bottoms up. What I just talked about earlier is really important, guys, really true. If you have a weak grip, you're going to have some kind of compensation somewhere else. So whether it's your wrist, your elbow, or your shoulder, it's going to creep its way up down to the shoulder eventually. So we're going to go through a bottoms up hold. What I want you to do is just do your best to hold the kettlebell in place for 10 seconds. Okay? We'll go right side, left side, 2 rounds. And then we'll call it there. I'll break off and I'll take a minute to answer any questions if you guys have any questions. All right? So let's get the right side ready to go. If you have trouble doing a bottoms up, by the way, when you grab it from the middle. If that's too difficult, I suggest grabbing from the corner like this when you pick it up. If you're feeling good, go from the middle. And up, hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And if you're feeling ballsy, add a shoulder press with the bottoms up. Come back. Good. Let's get a switch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feeling ballsy. And down. All right, right side and left side one more time, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go to the other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. All right, guys. So that concludes today's bulletproof shoulder program. Again, there's a lot more we can dive into. For those of you who want to, just message me on Instagram at the Crazy Trainer. If you want to dive into a conversation or you have very specific tailored questions, I'll likely get back to you. Small review. Again, if you have, hey Glenn, thank you. Let me know what you think. If you have a weak grip when you squeeze and hold, that's one of the first places I would start training if you're feeling shoulder imbalances or elbow pain or wrist pain. Okay, train your grip. And so today you hopefully saw, yes, the last activity we did is a bottoms up, hold, the Swiss press, where we held the kettlebell on our hand like food, like a waiter. One of my favorite movements for full body mobility, but really to strengthen your wrist, your grip, your elbows, all of it. So again, a weak grip equals usually a weak elbow, wrist, and shoulder. So strengthen those grips. If you're finding a lack of mobility going up and back, like if you see this wrinkle that just happened in my shirt, right? This is usually an area that's, if it's too tight, will not allow me to go upwards and back. So if you're someone who knows how to do soft tissue release work on a foam roller or a lacrosse ball or anything like that, I would roll out my lats, even towards my armpit, and I would release my pec up in here. Whether it's using your fingers, lacrosse ball, or you find a friend or a partner, please take time to release the tissue that we're working really hard on, okay? If you're going to train hard as hell a few days a week, let's say at least 3 days a week, you better recover hard as hell at least once or twice a week. Make time for it. Other than that, guys, again, if you have any questions, let's reconvene on social media, on Instagram. Shoot me a direct message at the Crazy Trainer. Next time I lead a workout, I'm planning to bring some intensity because I know the last 2 or 3 workouts I slowed down. I did kettlebell mobility, kettlebell flow, and today we covered some shoulder understanding. So if you guys have something that you really want to get done or a request for one of our lives, again, just shoot me or the Kettlebells Kings page a question or shoot us a message, and we'll make sure we do our best to make everybody happy. Amelia, I'm super happy to hear that. Yes, there was a core workout in there. You had to do that. If I start having shoulder pain, how should I adjust? Cheeser, shoot me a message on Instagram about what you felt and when you felt pain, and I promise to give you some kind of help, all right? Some kind of answer that will hopefully help you, okay? How many kilograms for a beginner? Melissa, I think it depends on what you do. If you want to dive in a little more, Melissa, I'm happy to answer. Shoot me a direct message at the Crazy Trainer on Instagram, my personal account, and I'll figure out how to help you out a bit more. Hey, Naima. All right. YouTube, thank you so much, Glenn, Stephanie, Leon for tuning in, Hugo for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. The grip is weak, but hey, Stephanie, that's why we're here, right? We're going to learn, see something new, and hopefully it makes us think a little bit more about how we can sustain long term. Leon, this came for a great time for me. New to kettlebells and just started wondering about sure. Leon, again, same thing. Do you have any questions on Instagram? Feel free to shoot me a message. I'm really good about getting back to people. As long as you're not a bot or trying to buy pictures of my feet, usually I'm pretty good about getting back to you. Okay. All right, Instagram, YouTube. You have a great rest of your day. Big love to you guys. Make good choices, and as always, stay crazy.